Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by No Money Stocks. Today is April 24th, 2014. Let's jump right into the charts. We're going to start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and what you're going to see is the futures are trading higher right now by about 9 points to around 1882 and a quarter. This is a pretty solid move for the futures. Really comes on the back of the Apple earnings that are really lifting all markets. If you take a look here at the NASDAQ futures, you're going to see that they're up over 60 points. So again, markets this morning are reacting very, very well to some earnings news, and it's primarily Apple. Apple's a big component of the S&P 500. It is also a big component inside of the NASDAQ composite, and believe it or not, this company is reversing, is asking for, is going to split their stock in 7-for-1 stock split they announced. So this is going to actually put Apple inside of the market where one day it could become a Dow component, and that's giving the markets a big lift. As you can see, the NASDAQ futures are roaring and soaring. So again, ES futures, S&P up 9 points, NASDAQ futures up over 60 points, or about 60 points. Pretty solid move overall this morning before the opening bell. Now let's go right to Apple. And what you're going to see here is the stock has had a tremendous move. I will have some levels for Apple. We will play this probably this morning for a gap play. That level will be posted up at 9 a.m., which is about 15 minutes from now. So again, we will be looking to trade Apple this morning on the short side most likely. But again, the numbers for Apple will be posted. But it's a tremendous move. The stock right now overall is trading above $570. It closed at $524. So you're seeing just a tremendous move up in Apple ahead of the opening bell. So you want to respect that, at least at the around, from what we're seeing right now, just a tremendous move up, and we'll see what the stock gives us. But again, Apple is up about 50 points ahead of the opening bell, and that is lifting all markets for the most part. All right, let's take a look at a few other things here. Let's go to F5 Networks. I believe they reported earnings as well. Stock is trading around the 113, 114 level. Again, decent pop-up. Stock closed at 108. Stock is very, very overbought here, but it can stay up a little bit higher with the euphoria that's taking place today. So be a little bit careful on the short side, but I would not be chasing this higher at the moment. It looks like it is very, very overbought. Still a lot of resistance around 115, 116. So keep that on the radar. Do not chase this one higher. Let's take a look at Facebook. That's the other big tech stock that reported earnings today. Facebook is trading at $64.61. This is another stock that I'm going to have gap resistance levels for posted up in the chat room at 9 o'clock. But right now, Facebook with a pretty decent little pop. Again, it's nowhere in the range of Apple, but it is still nonetheless a pretty nice move higher. And I think traders want to respect it at least at the around the opening bell. So good little move for Facebook, at least at the moment. And we'll see where this one goes. But they did report earnings as well. But we will look to play this on a resistance point coming up right after the market opens. Let's take a look at Caterpillar. This is another big Dow component. They've reported earnings today as well. Stock is trading at 107.44. So pretty solid move for Caterpillar. I happen to think around this 107.50 level is a lot of resistance. If you own this stock, make sure you trail your stop right now. It's still a tough short, but I have to think that the stock should hit a ton, or at least a minor wall of resistance, at least at this 107.50 level. So it did get above 108 briefly, but you can see how it's coming right back into that area. So it's going to need to form a base before it can push higher. So be very, very careful with Caterpillar at these levels. Do not chase this equity. It is at a resistance point at the moment. Let's take a look at Under Armour. They reported earnings as well. The stock closed at $54.44. It's right now trading at $55.88, so it's still higher than where it closed yesterday. When I look at Under Armour, though, there really doesn't seem to be any problems. Watch the $60 level. There's a lot of resistance there. If it gets back up there, I'm not sure it will do that. And then you're going to watch basically $63.50. That would be another resistance level for Under Armour today. Let's go over to look at Qualcomm. Qualcomm is another mover today, but this one is to the downside. The stock closed at $80.71. It's now trading at $77.50. In after hours yesterday, it did trade down to $76 around 6 o'clock in the evening. So it was a pretty good sell-off. That level could be retested today, but that will still be some short-term support. I will have levels for Qualcomm posted up in the chat room at 9 a.m. I want to talk about General Motors real quick here. GM with a pretty nice move to the upside. So this is a solid pop. The stock closed at $34.40. I happen to think that GM has a lot of resistance at current levels, right at $35.90. It may go a little bit higher, but right around this area, I happen to think GM is going to run into a wall of resistance right around this $35.90 to $36 area. After this, it's $36.77. If you're a gutsy player or if you're an aggressive trader, you can scalp shorter. Remember, a scalp is nothing more than a quick day trade that lasts somewhere between 10 and 30 minutes. Right now, the levels I'm seeing right now for your General Motors would be $36.77, although I do think it's hitting resistance right where it's trading right now at around $35.90. The next level for resistance on General Motors, should $36.77 be broken to the upside, it would be $37.97. So keep that on the radar, and then ultimately $39.31. I don't expect to see that price get up there, but hey, you never know. Stranger things have happened before. Let's take a look at 3M today. So 3M is another Dow component. This stock is trading at around 135.76. It closed at 137.99. I have a level for 3M. If it gets down there, watch 132. That's the only level that would interest me today, but I would be a buyer at 132 if 3M does get down to that level. I think that's going to be an attractive level for 3M for a bounce. And again, that price is at 132, so keep that on the radar. Let's take a look at United Continental. This is the airline. What you're going to see here is the stock closed at 46.06. They reported earnings as well. Currently trading at 44.90. No, we don't really care what the earnings were. We just care about what the market is doing, and we'll take it from there. If this stock gets down to 41.85, 41.75, there's going to be some short-term support there just for a quick intraday bounce. So again, keep that on the radar. It's around 41.80, 41.75, somewhere in that level. The stock should have short-term support around that area. So we'll watch and see if that plays out. Here's another one I was looking at, ALGN, which is a line technology. They make something with the teeth. Doesn't really matter what they do. The stock closed at 52.45. It's now trading at 51.89. The stock has a ton of resistance around 54.60 if it gets there. And if it does decline, you're going to watch the 48.50 level. So there's some real good levels, I think, for this stock. It's not always the most high volume name out there, so you want to be a little bit careful with it. But it generally trades somewhere between 500 and a million shares a day. So something to keep on the radar. There are just so many names out here today, so many different equities that are reporting earnings. I really can't keep up with it all myself. But nonetheless, there's a lot of morning opportunities. That's what you want to take advantage of, and we'll see how it plays out. Let's go over to the gold market. Gold is getting hit a little bit today. I believe at the moment gold is down about $10 to $12.74. So gold is taking a little bit of a hit. Right now, looks like the GLD is trading at 122.71. As I mentioned yesterday, GLD had support at 122.10. Looks like that was tested this morning. We'll see if that level can hold up. But there is some daily chart support around 122.10 for the GLD. But nonetheless, gold is lower this morning ahead of the opening bell. Looking over the oil markets today, you're going to see that the light sweet crude market is trading up by about 20 cents to 101.65 a barrel. It's not all that much, but nonetheless, oil is stabilizing, moving up a little bit, and we'll see where it goes from there. I don't really have any great levels for the USO. This is a way we trade light sweet crude. Right now, it's hanging out around that 37 to 36.90 level. There's nothing terrible here, nothing great. I don't think there's much we can do with the oil market. You do have a lot of geopolitical events surrounding it, so I've really just left that market alone, but we'll see what it does give us going forward. Again, a lot of action in the morning. Take advantage of it. The market has been very, very slow. The volume has been very, very light as of late, so we just want to realize that. But the afternoons have been a little bit on the slower side, but the morning has been pretty good, so you want to take advantage of the morning hours. With that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it here. I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we will see you all on the charts.